This seal appears modeled and ancient, seemingly unremarkable. Yet thou didst but press it upon the abdomen of the school bell. In an instant, she was transformed into a succubus of peerless beauty. This rust-laden pendant of the inverted cross possesseth the power to grant its wearer the eternal life of a vampire. Forbidden artifacts such as these, capable of defying thou hast a chamber filled to the brim. For thou art the proprietor of an antique shop that collecteth the forbidden. So long as a guest can pay the price, they may obtain all they desire within these walls. Jin Miting was once the most celebrated beauty of Nanhai University, but a fire robbed her of the countenance she so prided herself upon. To regain her beauty, thou toyest with the seal in thy hand, thy voice remaining tranquil. 1 month ago, thou didst take over this shop from the former master, because the predecessor lost 12 forbidden artifacts. He was cursed to leave the shop only upon rainy nights. Having inherited the mantle of shopkeeper, thou hast likewise inherited this curse. To break the shackle, thou must retrieve those forbidden artifacts scattered across the realm. And this guest before thee is the perfect instrument to aid thy search abroad. Jin Miting taketh the seal. Without a moment's hesitation, she lifted her raiment and pressed it down. The stars upon her face recede like a low tide. Two winding ram horns sprout from her brow. A lithe tail emerges from behind. Beholding her reflection of beauty so sinister it borders on the demonic, she letteth out a cry, both of terror and of ecstasy. Thou speakest in a low, ghostly tone.
内膜文章使用后会变成这个世界上最美的生物，你用你的自由换取了它，对你来说很赚，因为如果不是我需要一位店员，你的自由对我而言一文不值。
Jin Miting panteth heavily, attempting to digest the transformation of her physical form, to become more beautiful and to possess extraordinary power. But what truly is the cost of losing one's freedom? Thou piercest through her thoughts with a glance.
7天时间解决你手头上的事情，7天后你要回到这里，开始你的工作。现在你可以走了。
The gaze Jin Miting casteth toward thee is filled with a hint of dread.
随手就把人变成恶魔，这是何等恐怖的手段！只要不傻，就该知道违背契约该有多可怕。
With a mere thought, she concealeth her succubus trait. In a panic, she fleeth the antique shop. Beyond a misty drizzle beginneth to fall from the heavens. Thou watchest the threads of rain. The corner of thy mouth curleth into a slight arc. This rain must not be squandered. After so long a wait, a rainy night hath finally arrived. Thou art free to leave the antique shop, to reclaim the lost forbidden artifacts. Each forbidden artifact wieldeth a treacherous power. Mortals who possess such items have either gained formidable supernatural might, or used them to become the elite of society. Which is to say, those who have traded for forbidden artifacts are by no means ordinary people. Upon the buyer's death, the artifact, now deemed lost, is likely inherited by their kin or close associates. If they prove ungrateful and refuse to return the forbidden artifact to its rightful force must be employed. Thou walkest to the back hall. Thy gaze sweepeth across the shelves of forbidden artifacts. Thy eyes lock onto a rust-covered scythe upon the rack. Codex 08, the Reaper's Scythe. Thou talkest up the Reaper's Scythe, and walkest to the rear door of the shop, mounting an ancient, vintage European carriage. The autumn rain is fleeting. Time is of the essence to hasten the journey. Thou requirest a most convenient vessel. The ghost-ridden carriage. Thou talkest the driver's seat, opening a yellowed ledger. Within are recorded the transactions of the previous master. 20 years ago, Zheng Xihua paid with half her lifespan to trade for the Siren's Pearl. Thou hast heard of this Zheng Xihua, a diva who rose to fame suddenly 20 years past. She perished of illness 2 years ago. Her daughter, Bai Shasha, perfectly inherited her vocal talent, becoming famous throughout the land. But this was no innate talent. It was the work of that thing. Codex 81, the Siren's Pearl. It granteth the user a voice like unto a siren. It would seem the Siren's Pearl is now in Bai Shasha's possession. Thou closest the ledger and speakest to the carriage. The ghost carriage ignites, vanishing instantly from the spot. Nanhai, Green Horse Manor. This is the residence of Bai Shasha. Tonight, luminaries from all walks of life gather for a ball to celebrate the successful tour of the starlit Bai Shasha. A clamor echoes from the dressing room. Two guards in black raiment are hauling a frenzied admirer away. The man looks back, wailing. Bai Shasha's face is filled with disdain.
什么人都能来我家了，真不知道怎么混进来的。穷鬼和屌丝躲远点好吗？
She gently stroketh the pearl pendant upon her neck, the final memento left by her mother.
也是她统治乐坛的秘密。
Before her mother's departure, she was warned repeatedly never to use this treasure lightly, for one day in the future, its true master would come to claim it. At the thought, Bai Shasha's gaze turneth rapacious.
谁敢来抢我的宝贝，我就让他消失。
Her father is a merchant in name, but in truth, an underground lord of illicit elixirs. Every guard employed in the manor is an elite henchman of her father. Just then, footsteps are heard outside the dressing room. Bai Xiaxia dons a professional, false smile and turns. But upon seeing the newcomer in such common clothes, her smile vanishes instantly. How hath another fly managed to crawl in? Just as she is about to unleash the man speaketh first. Bai Xiaxia is taken aback, then reacting. Her body suddenly stiffens. What didst thou say? That gaze is fixed upon the siren's pearl at her neck. That belongeth to me. Bai Xiaxia measures thee from head to toe. A flicker of contempt crosses her eyes. I shall give thee gold. This thing is now mine. In her view, this object is but an ancestral trinket from some rustic's family.
怀璧其罪，这宝贝在你这种底层人手里，只会招来杀身之祸。
Feeling a touch of impatience, thou drawest out a rust-laden scythe.
我的时间很宝贵。
Upon seeing the scythe, Bai Xiaxia shows no fear, only a look of scorn.
拿着一把破镰刀就赶来这里撒野，既然你不识抬举，就真别怪我欺负人了。
She suddenly raises her voice. A piercing scream shatters the air of the dressing room.
保安，你们都死哪去了？
The sound of hurried footsteps erupts instantly. A dozen brawny men in black western suits instantly blockade the doorway. Their aura is murderous.
小子，敢在白小姐这儿闹事，你是活腻了。